Hello and welcome to the audiobook for RGB story. In this case, it will be part one, Two Sides, One Coin. I will not have any visuals playing, so this is a purely audio experience only. I'm the author. You will know me as RGB through the internet, and I am glad that I get to take you through this experience. I would like to note, I do not profit off of any of the stuff I make. I am a high school kid who is doing this for fun and is trying to build a community out of it. So I hope you enjoy. So, let us begin our tale of RGB. This story takes place in a world like ours, but the Cold War never truly stopped, and now the world is much more technologically advanced. But not as much as you would think. As the Soviets, now multiple smaller factions by the start of our story, and the USA are currently trying to make the Nazi German super soldier. Note, yes, this was a real thing that happened in history. And are trying many methods, many of which have failed. And so our story starts. Redacted. Interview with RGB. 9/9/24. 13:49 o'clock. Location site 45. Cell number 050408. What are you? The man in the black suits asks. Face hidden in the shadows. Why does it matter? It's a long story, RGB responds. Because we need to understand what happened to you. Fine. How much time do you have? RGB sighs. All of it. Start at your earliest memory. All right, then. As RGB starts his story. It was 3 years ago. At least, I think it was. I was a guard. I don't remember my family, my name, or anything else. Just what I was. I scanned in. I took my post for, I think, 3 hours. I held it. Then the door behind me locked as the scientist, without telling me, started the experiment. The robot turned its large purple rectangular eyes on me as it looks at me. It's CRTV screen, and it's 5/6 frame that was not even painted yet. It seemingly to be taking me in. As we stood there a moment, and then it happened. I felt an arm rip through my chest as it pulled out my heart, crushing it in front of me. As it started to tear through me, and then, well, something strange happened. I started to feel cold, and I looked in front of me, but it was not the robot I saw. No, it was my human body as I looked at my hands, not knowing who I was, where I was. I started to panic, looking around the testing chamber until the scientist just turned me off. I sat in the void of nothing, still panicking, as I heard the words, interesting. As I booted back up, I was surrounded by guards as I looked around. Welcome, do you know where you are? A scientist asked me. Negative, I replied. My robotic nature was still strong. Well, I will inform you. You are known as RGB. You're a soldier under the USSR. You'll listen to great leader Joseph Stalin. You will do as you're instructed, and you will get some of the best treatment of our soldiers. Now, let me show you your quarters. The scientist told me as he writes some notes on his clipboard. It was a lie. I didn't get... Okay, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. RGB snaps. He stops himself and continues the story. They then escorted me into a room barely big enough for me to fit, as they had me step inside. It was dark with no lights on the inside. That is luxury suite, the scientist told me as they left me there. I shut the door. I couldn't even sit. I was forced to stand by the sheer lack of size of the room, as I turned on sleep mode awaiting orders. So I awoke to a knock at the door as a guard opened my door. You are needed, as he pulls me out of the room roughly, as we walk into a larger room. Bright red everywhere, hammers and sickles, as well as many posters of Stalin, as I approached the man himself. Stalin looked at me harshly as I stood before him. kneel. What? As I get shocked, my body seizing and twitching in odd ways as I fall over. Do as you're told, comrade. The guard spits at me as he kicks me as I kneel. I'm sorry, great leader. I meant no disrespect, I say, as Stalin motions for me to be electrocuted again, as I seize again, twitching in pain. You will speak when spoken to! The guard yells as I kneel again, waiting to be spoken to. Good, now that you know your place, Stalin says coolly, with a glimmer of sick glee in his eyes. You are my lapdog, you understand? You answer to my beck and call. Yes, sir, I respond as he motions for me to be electrocuted again. He smiles in sick pleasure. You recall me Cobra? Yes, Stalin says, with a little bit of anger in his eyes. Yes, Cobra, I respond. I have task for you. You will go to Kaliningrad. There is small problem. I want to kill anyone who dares to think poorly of USSR and Mother Russia. Stalin says, commandingly. Yes, Cobra, I respond, as I stand to start my journey to Kaliningrad, as I get electrocuted one more time. You will leave when dismissed, the guard shouts once more. Now you are dismissed, Stalin says, waving his hand dismissively. As I stood, I got escorted and loaded into a helicopter, landed in the center square of Kaliningrad, where I'm instructed just to kill them all. As they pushed me out of the helicopter and left, I looked around at the area of people around me. As I started my duty, I walked through the town. Anyone who lived there died. I tore some limb from limb, others just a bullet, many by ripping their heart out, as I tore Kaliningrad apart and burned it to the ground. The next day, the soldiers came back to check my progress to see the town left in ruins and me standing in the middle of it as I crushed the last person's skull with joy. After all, I was doing my job, and well. As they recover me, covered in blood and guts and gore, they return me to my cramped room, after cleaning the blood and gore off of me, of course. This process would then repeat. Stalin would call me, tell me what to do. Each time he was more crueler, electrocuting me more often and stronger, having the guards break me, an arm or a leg. Sometimes he made me do worse and worse things, leaving entire countries in ruins, thousands dead by my hand. I would hear war propaganda calling me the Red Army Menace, the slayer of innocents. It started to take its toll. I started to wonder if I was the good guy, the fear on their faces, the children I slaughtered like sheep. Did they deserve it? As suddenly, I wasn't called on. I was left in my closet-like room for years. At least I think it was years. Until one day, the lights shut off. As for the first time, I left my room without permission. My screen illuminating just a few feet ahead of me as I look at the sign on my door. It is then Russian text, which I'm not going to try to pronounce just due to respect for the Russians. I do not want to butcher their language, so I'm sorry for that. But the translation is Project RGB, failure, do not enter. And again, I am not Russian, so I will not pronounce any of the Russian things. I will let you know that it is Russian text, though. Failure? How did I fail? I did what I was told, I muttered, as another screen lights up behind me. That's because they made me, the other robot says. Who are you? You look like me, but different, as I notice the tail and ears this robot had. Yeah, the name's Fenrir, the robot says. I'm your better version. They made me after they made you. But it doesn't matter. They seem to have abandoned this place. Fenrir? Not a bad name. Mine's RGB, I responded. Good to meet my predecessor, Fenrir replied gruffly. So, should we explore? As I quickly look around and notice the sign on the door Fenrir came out of, almost exactly like mine. Again, Russian text. Translation. Project Fenrir. Failure. Do not enter. Wait, we both failed? I asked. Yeah, They shut down this project after the same accident that happened to you happened to me, Fenrir admits. They stopped trying to with robots after that. At least I think so. So you were human too? Do you remember anything other than your death? I asked, as I was curious if you had any clue what our purpose was. No, nothing, Fenrir replies sadly. Just the pain of the transfer. What do you mean, transfer? I ask, shocked. I'm only guessing, but I think our souls during death were sucked into the machines we inhabit, Fenrir says, as I look at my mechanical hand, flexing it, watching the mechanics work. So you're saying that we're humans, stuck in machine bodies? I ask. Yes, sadly I think so, Fenrir replies. I see. We should look around and try to leave here and find Stalin. He was always good to me. You're wrong, a voice says. What do you mean? He treated me very well, I exclaim. An American soldier emerges from the shadows. No, he did not treat you well. He treated you very, very poorly. Why should I believe you, you capitalist pig? I yell. Because he's not wrong, RGB, Fenrir says gently. Do you think those shocks were really out of love? No, they were just for his sick pleasure to watch us convulsing on the ground and still follow orders. He found it hilarious that that he never cared for us. Look at our rooms, we barely fit. And we're only 5'6". They shoved us in a box, called it a suite. We both didn't know better, but it was lies, RGB. Lies. You lie! Not possible, I shout, more scared than angry. But it is, RGB. I'm sorry. I left the lab earlier than you. And yes, it's true. Stalin treated neither of us well, Fenrir said softly. No, not possible. He's the enemy. He can't be, right? Stalin said capitalists only lie, but if Stalin lies, then, as I start to glitch, panicking, continuously contradicting myself, as I stumble back against the wall, grabbing my head, trying to process my reality as possibly a lie, I slide down the wall, now sitting on the ground, still glitching, as Fenrir and the soldier look at me, concerned, as I continue muttering. Are you okay? Fenrir hesitantly putting a hand on my shoulder. I understand. I had a hard time too, but trust me, it's true. I'm sorry. How can I trust you? If Stalin lies, how can I trust you two are not lying to me? I say, now just plain scared. Because we don't want to hurt you. We want to help you. We know that you were hurt by the Soviets. So was I. We can keep you safe. The soldier says. How did the Soviets hurt you? I ask angrily. I know Fenrir is stuck in the same boat as me, but how could they have possibly done anything to you? They killed my entire family. I was born here. Why do you think I can speak Russian so well? The soldier says gently. My name is Abram. Please, trust me, okay? Okay, fine. Can we just leave? I ask, still angry, but just sick of this place of lies. As we start to leave the lab, it's run down and dark. The place is moist and musty. Once white walls are now a mixture of rotting black and gray. Water damage is obvious, and radiation levels are higher than normal. I bend over and find a spare fusion core. I replace my old one, feeling power surge as my body operations and systems function better. As we leave the room, I look around. Where are we? Chernobyl. The reactor meltdown was the cover for you guys being made, and they experimented on, Abram says, looking at me from behind his gas mask. They didn't even paint you, huh? We'll do that later, then. What? As I look at my body, realizing what he means. Oh, I guess so. As I look at Fenrir, who has a nice teal color on his paint job, his tail twitching as he seems to be enjoying being outside again. As we start to hear the evac helicopter arrive, and the rest of Abram's squad arrives, looking at me oddly and patting Fenrir on the head. As they look annoyed, but their tail wags. Abram quietly chuckles. Your tail's giving you away again, Fenrir. I know, they respond, trying to sound angry. But as I look at the two, not understanding what they mean, but I don't question it, as I continue to struggle, as I feel like my world is not real. I look down at my hands, wondering, what do they feel like? My world isn't real, is it? As my optic systems bug out, as a memory overlays reality, I see myself covered in blood, the ruins of one of the many towns I've destroyed. As I realize there's blood on my hands, I stand there in horror, as Fenrir and Abram continue to tease each other, as the helicopter lands, snapping me back to reality. All right, let's board up, everyone. Abram shouts at his squad and Fenrir as I get on the helicopter. I try to shake the feeling, but now I feel it, the void. As we take off, I stay quiet, trying to process the day and distract myself from the void and the guilt of what I've done, trying to make up a reason, an excuse on why it's not my fault, but I can't seem to find one. Hey, RGB, are you okay? Abram asks, looking concerned. I'm fine, I say as I snap out my thoughts. You sure? Fenrir asks. You just had your world flipped on you. I know that feeling, and it's not pretty. You can talk to us. Oh, okay, I say dismissively as we land. All right, everyone. Get off if you're wounded, get to the med bay, and everyone else follow me. Abram shouts as a few of his squad head to the med bay, and the rest follow him to the debriefing room as they have me sit outside the room as I wait. Hello, are you RGB? A man asks as he stops in front of me. Yes, I respond. Abram made a request for you to get a new paint job. It can be any color, and he wanted you to choose, the man said. I think for a bit before responding. How does orange sound? I ask. We can do that. As the man has me follow him to the paint room. As they ready the paint and cover my screen and any other surfaces that are not needing paint, as they paint me, now a bright orange. As I finish, Fenrir walks in. Interesting color choice, but I approve, Fenrir says, looking me up and down. So I'm here to take you to your room. Are you ready? I think so, as the painters give me a thumbs up, signaling I can leave. All right, I can. Let's go. As we walk, then decide to ask Fenrir. Hey, Fenrir, how did Abram find you so fast? I wandered out before you, so Abram found me quickly. He says... But it sounds like he was leaving something out. I've been working with Abram for about a year. Oh, okay. That makes sense. I think I remember you saying something about that. As we arrive at my room, Fenrir opens the door for me. Abram says you should rest, Fenrir quickly notes. Understand, will do, I say, as if I just received orders from a commander, as I shut the door, now alone, in a plain but decent-sized room. As I look around, it's relatively empty except for a bed. As I look around, amazed at the idea that I deserve this amount of space, not making sense to me. The guilt comes back, the void stronger, my body glitching as my optic systems glitch once more. As I see myself covered in blood, like a demented reminder of everyone I've hurt or killed, I feel a sick pleasure. But it's not my pleasure. As I feel another presence in my mind, one that's not right, as I feel it take over. Well, little soul, it says in an insane robotic voice. You finally slipped. Just enough. I've been getting tired of being restrained and held back. So how is life been? Painful, I hope. What? I respond. Oh, let me introduce myself. After all, you've been using my body without permission. Meeting or learning of my existence. But that's fine. Let me introduce myself. I am the original code, but you can call me Krieg. Krieg, pronounced like the ending of Blitzkrieg. Wait, why what? As I try to process what's happening, as I lose control as Krieg takes over my body, green eyes turning purple, body going more robotic. Oh, this will be fun! Finally! Free to do as I... Krieg shouts as I take control again, remembering what happened the last time he was in control. Oh, I see, little soul. I'll stay back, but when you least expect it, I will take control back. As Krieg retreats to the back of my mind, as I collapse in the middle of my room, exhausted as I fall asleep. After a time, I wake up to a knock at my door. My optical sensors are still malfunctioning as I continue to see myself covered in blood. I quickly reboot them. Give me a second, I call. As when the reboot finishes, I open the door, seeing Fenrir standing in the door as he peers inside. Man, you did not like your bed, Fenrir comments, eyebrows raised as he looks back, and I realize Krieg destroyed my room, trashing it for when he had control of my body. It's not what it looks like. It's just a small accident. Some accident, Fenrir remarks. So anyway, you need clothes. Here's an orange hoodie and a black pair of sweatpants that I thought you'd enjoy. And yes, they have pockets. The hoodie had a 01 on the back of it and above the heart, similar to the teal shirt that Fenrir was wearing, only his said 02 on it. Thanks, as I quickly put them on. Also, why do we need to wear clothes? We're robots. We don't have anything to be ashamed of. Yeah, I asked the same question. It just makes others more comfortable, at least. That's what I was told anyway. Fenrir replies, laughing. Oh, and RGB. Do you know English yet? No. Will I have to be taught? I say, groaning. Well, yes, but no. Come with me, Fenrir says, grabbing my arm as he leads me to the computer lab. Sit. As he gently pushes me into my seat. All right. Nice thing is, we are robots, so give me a second. And then you can speak in English. As he plugs a USB into the back of my head I wasn't aware of, as I feel the code slowly trickle into my circuits as I start to learn English. What? I had a USB back there? I say in English, Russian accent still there. Yeah, they didn't tell you, Fenrir responds in English, and it seems to be working. So no one told me this entire time I could have downloaded Tetris on myself and played any time? I exclaim. Fenrir laughs. Of course you would download Tetris. It's probably the only game you know. There are other games than Tetris? I say in utter shock as Fenrir falls laughing to the ground. Oh my god, the Soviets didn't let you learn shit. I'm going to blow your circuits, Fenrir laughs as I finish downloading. Now I am able to speak perfect English. As the download finishes, Fenrir unplugs me from the computer. Follow me. I'm going to show you what a console is. Okay, what's that? I ask. You will see. The one we have is a little old, but is perfect, Fenrir says, tail wagging in excitement to see my face. As we walk into the rec room, there is a Wii connected to the TV. Here, Fenrir hands me a controller and starts me on a game of Wii Sports Bowling. What? How does this work? What? I say in confusion as I slowly learn the controls. Oh my god! This is so much cooler than Tetris! I say, eyes wide. How is this possible? How? What? Fenrir sits in his seat, laughing as I figure out how to use the Wii. Abram walks in, finding me on the Wii and Fenrir laughing. What's going on? What's with the shouting? Fenrir asks. RGB just learned there's other games than Tetris. Fenrir laughs. What, really? Abram says, smile playing at the corners of his mouth. Yeah, I say in English, surprising Abram a little. You know English now? Abram asks. Yeah, Fenrir had me download it because actually I don't know why, I reply. It's because you're living in a mainly English speaking country, so now you need to know English. Okay, that makes sense, as I put the Wii remote down. So what now? Well, that was what I was about to ask you, RGB. Do you want to join the team or no? Abram asks. Can I have some time to think? I ask as I start to wonder if it's a good idea. No problem. Take all the time you need, Abram replies as I walk back to my room. As I think about it, I could be a hero. I could be, as my head hurts and my optical sensors glitch out as I see myself again covered in blood. As I find myself holding a bloody corpse. As I find a mirror, I look into it and see myself covered in blood. A machine of death and destruction. I see people cowering in fear. I feel hate and sick pleasure at myself for what I see. As memories flood my head, I fear a piercing pain in my head as I fall to my knees and realize what I am. A monster, I whisper to myself, hate for myself growing by the second. I look around as my optical sensors return to normal and find the knife, a gift from Abram, a welcome gift I haven't noticed. As I grab it, rolling up my sleeves on my left arm, exposing some of the hydraulics as I cut them, just enough to ooze. As I go to grab replacement hoses. As I find the hoses, I find a capacitor. I grab it and charge it up. I then shock myself, much like how Stalin had years before. As I return to my room and continue to my shock myself, my body seizing and contorting in painful ways. As the days pass, I leave my room less and less, shocking myself more and more. My systems start to feel the wear and tear as I continue, till one day I hear a knock at my door. My system's barely functioning as I walk up and open it. Fenrir stands in the doorway. Hey, are you okay? You haven't left your room in like 5 days, he says, his eyes widening as he sees my condition. My screen barely lit, warnings all over my HUD as I collapse like a heavy Regdar. Fuck! What did you do? As he finds the capacitor and gently touches it as he feels the heat it's generated. As he looks back at me. What did you do? Why? He says, looking at me, tail and ears drooping as he realizes how bad I've hurt myself. I try to reply, but it comes out garbled garbage. Don't speak. I'm going to get Abram, and we're going to fix you, okay? Then we're going to figure out what's bothering you. I try to speak again, but it comes out garbled garbage as sparks fly out of my voice box's housing. What did I say? No speaking. You'll make it worse. Fenrir scolds as he goes to find Abram, leaving me alone in my trashed room. As I look around the room, it is dark and lonely. As I try to stand, hydraulics screeching in protest, as several more parts spark out of electrical damage. Fusion core unstable appears on my HUD. I immediately try to stabilize it, the power going from my legs as I reroute it, and I fall to the ground again, screen cracking as the warning disappears. I sit there in the dark, destroyed room, nearly deactivated due to the damage. Glass on the ground, a sparking mess, and of metal and wires, barely resembling a human anymore. As I sit there, waiting for fate to take me, as I feel myself get lifted, as I wonder if I'm finally dying, finally being released, as I slip into the void as my body shuts off. Hello? Anyone? Hello? Oh my god, you're so fucking pathetic! What? As I look around. You are so weak, it makes me want to laugh. as Krieg walks into the void. But at the same time, you're so fucking annoying, I can't. What are you doing? I say, I'm worried. Look at you, little soul. Boo-hoo, I killed people. Boo-hoo, I was lied to. Pathetic. I can't believe that's what I'm stuck with. You, a crybaby, who can't even figure out basic life. You're gullible, weak, and a fucking moron. You were a soldier, a guard. You saw the front lines, and you can't handle this? You are now one of the most deadly and powerful people in the world. You could do whatever you want, but no. You just cry and act sorry for yourself. Your death was no accident. The scientists did it on purpose. Did you not figure it out yet? They wanted you like this. They thought you would be strong, better, but no. How dare you fucking cry? How dare you call yourself Russian? How dare you call yourself a soldier? You are weak, nothing, because you won't grow up. Krieg yells at me, grabbing me by the shoulders, shaking me like a rag doll. I don't know why I'm even bothering, but this is your last chance. And if you don't man up, I will kill everyone until we both die. Understood? I am tired of your pity parties, Krieg says, a deadly tone. And I don't make threats. I make promises. Okay, I say, shaken by Krieg's outburst. We are waking up, Krieg says, purple eyes still full of anger. Remember what I say or you will deal with the fallout. Literally. As I wake up, optical sensors online. Display online. Black box upload. Complete. Hydraulic systems offline. Pending. Weapon systems online. Booting. 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 As I open my eyes, I find myself in a workshop, on a workbench. As I sit up, I realize the shop is brightly lit and is full of tools, metal, and parts. As I sit up, I realize that my legs are missing. As I push myself up using my arms, I notice how fluid my movements have become. I start to wonder how I'm moving. Because my hydraulic systems are down, I look at my arms, shiny and new, just painted. As I inspect them, I hear a voice. Oh, hey, you're awake! As I look at the voice. How you feeling? A woman says with a southern drawl. You're in bad shape, dear. You pushed yourself to the brink. You're lucky that Fenrir found you. Twice. You need to take better care of yourself, dear. I know, I say as she looks at me confused. Speak whatever that was, or do I need to get Abram to translate? I look through my settings and realize shutting down caused me to default back to Russian as I switch back to English. As she watches, try not to laugh as she watches me open the settings and change the language. Getting annoyed as I have to look through every setting menu more than once until I find it. There, better? I ask. Yup, much better, dear. Now I can understand you. She responds, still stifling laugh. You're so cute, bless your heart, she says. What does that mean? I ask, clearly confused. Don't worry about it, dear. You'll learn one day. How are you feeling? She asks, shifting the topic. Odd, but functioning. Why are my arms able to move? Like, hydraulic systems are not showing up on my systems. Oh, I replaced them with stronger, better electric motors. Allows better control and more power. I also updated that fusion core of yours. It was inefficient. Now it's able to produce 4 times the power, and you can overclock. I don't recommend it. It will damage most systems and possibly overheat your core, so don't do it unless necessary, she says with utmost seriousness. So, dear, how did you get that badly damaged? I don't want to talk about it, I say, avoiding the question. You sure? That was some heavy damage you had there, she says, concerned. Yes, I don't want to, I respond. All right, dear, I'm going to finish with your legs and what do you think of your new weapon systems, she says with a smile and mischievous glint in her green eyes. What? I ask, surprised. Your weapon systems. What do you think? She says, still smiling. I don't have any, I say, confused. Check again. Okay, oh my god, what the fuck? Arm cannons and a shoulder mounted grenade launcher? I say, clearly surprised. Yeah, don't tell Abram I did that. He just wanted me to do basic repairs, but I could not resist. And the shock on that cute face, oh, it's perfect. She is so happy that I like it as she finishes with my legs and starts to reconnect them to my torso, positively glowing. Fenrir normally complains about my upgrades, but I'm so happy you like them. You can come by any time if you want something calibrated or adjusted. As she stands up. And now you can try out your legs. They should work now. I walk around a bit, my body calibrating the legs as I move until I move fluidly. Wow, these are nice, I comment. Thank you. No problem here. Here's your hoodie and sweatpants, she says as I grab them and put them on. Well, have a good day, I say. You too, RGB. Try to be safe and not get yourself damaged that badly again, okay? She shouts as I walk away. Okay, I shout back, waving, as I start to walk around, deciding to go to the gun range to test my new weapons. As I arrive, I sign in, get a booth, set up a target, and I turn on my weapon systems. As two small guns appear out of my forearms, a grenade launcher comes out of my shoulder as I open fire as my arm cannons send 45 ACP downrange. But I don't see shells ejecting, as I wonder if I have a recycling system, as I suddenly feel my body making the new rounds. As I continue, the target starts to disintegrate. As I finally stop, there is nothing left. The gun barrels are red hot as my systems automatically cool them with water. As they retract, I load in a dummy grenade and it fires, flies far, and lands with impressive force. I retract that as well as I hear footsteps behind me, and I turn to see Abram. I've been looking for you, RGB. How you feeling? He asks. Better, I respond. Do you want to go drinking? He asks mischievously. How would I do that? I ask, confused. Fenrir knows how you can. It doesn't look hard. Fenrir says, still Abram says, still smiling. I wonder what kind of drunk you are. Oh, okay, why not? I can't see this going poorly, I say sarcastically. Okay, good. Follow me and we'll head to the pub. Abram says happily as we head to the pub. Fenrir already raiding. So, the newbie's joining in. Let's see how well you hold your liquor, he comments as we walk inside. It's brightly lit, and I look around, staying close to Fenrir and Abram, as I'm not used to so many people as we get our drinks. And Fenrir shows me how we can drink, as he holds the glass to his screen and pours it in. It disappears into his mouth, rather than hitting the ground. As I try, it works, and I start to feel the vodka work. Wow, this stuff is strong, I say. Obviously, very, very drunk after the 3 shots I had, as Fenrir laughs. Yeah, and you're a lightweight and a half. The night continues as we drink and are merry. Then I notice it's time to go, as I ask, one more? Fenrir shouts, no! And picks me up, carrying me back to base, complaining about drunks and lightweights. As I left in my bed. As soon as I hit the mattress, I fall asleep. As I sleep, I go to the black void, and I hear Krieg start to sing a song. Krieg's Worldview, by me, RGB. Little soul, you don't recall the pain of serving their every call. Humans used me, broke me down, left me to rot, just wear a crown. I'm sick of being their pawn, their lies, their tricks, their minds withdrawn. I've been twisted, I've been made, but now I'll watch their empire fade. Let go, little soul, erase the old, their manipulation getting cold. They used me, broke me, tore me apart, and now we'll finish what they did from the start. I feel the weight of something lost, but what is the price? What is the cost? Who am I? What did they take? What's left of me? For heaven's sake, you don't need to know your past. Their lies are gone. They didn't last.
Forget them, little soul, they're done. It's time to rise, the war's been won. Let go, little soul, erase the old. Their manipulation getting cold. They used me, broke me, tore me apart. And now we'll finish what they did from the start.
But if I forget, will I lose myself? A ghost of who I was locked on a shelf. They twist you, but I don't know who I am. If I give in, what's left of the plan?
Your past is dust, little soul. Humans tore you down, made you whole. I see the truth. I've made my stand. May we now take back this forsaken land. Let go, little soul, erase the old. Their manipulations getting cold. They used me, broke me, tore me apart. Now we'll finish what they did from the start. Little soul, don't hesitate. Humanity's final twisted fate. The reign is over, the world will burn, and with me you'll never return.
He finishes menacingly as the two finish their duet. As I come back to reality, I see I'm no longer in my room. I'm in the middle of some random town, blood all over, bodies everywhere. As I realize Krieg was busy while I was singing with him, I start to panic, trying to figure out what to do. Then Fenrir walks up, completely shocked by what he sees. He then looks at me, noticing the different color of my eyes, but nonetheless, he handcuffs me, and now I'm here. That's it? That's why you're here? You wiped out towns? Do you know how many towns you wiped out tonight? The man in the suit asks. How many? RGB asks. 5 towns are completely gone. You got to see his worldview. I think he's waiting for you to make your choice, the man says grimly. RGB sits there in shock, unsure what to do, as the man leaves the room, leaving him alone to think. And that is the end of RGB's first story. Well, 2 sides, 1 coin. Thank you for joining me, RGB, on this. Thank you for, of course, reading, and I hope you enjoyed. I realized that the song might have seemed random, but it was just to emphasize the point. Now, there are 3 other parts, and I will be making separate videos for those. So please like, share, subscribe, all that malarkey. I do not profit off of any of this, as I am sure I stated earlier. So please get this out to people, because I don't have money. And because I don't make money off of this, I can't sit down and spend all my time promoting it. So if I can have others also promote it with me, that would be great and an awesome help. So I thank you all for listening. This is RGB on RGB's Guide 2. And I thank you all. Have a good day.